Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to another glimpse at what is coming in Vintage Story version 1.18. We are in a fresh new test world here, after having looked at the landforms and ocean options in a previous video. If you missed that one, make sure you check it out. Today we're going to look at some of the new functional and decorative blocks that exist in the game now, and that you will be able to build with and experiment with and do all manner of cool stuff with. So, let's start with some of the big stuff. Now, although we took a glimpse at the new oceans and other water formations in the last video, we didn't take a look at one of the new tools for traversing them, and that is a makeshift raft. And these come in every color of wood. Ooh, purple heart. Don't mind if I do. And just like in that other block game, you can right-click to put them on the water. And we have infinite rafts, of course. Once placed, you can simply right-click to get in, and then you're here. But we can't move yet, and that's because we need an oar. There is a new crude oar in here with, again, all the colors of the rainbow. Let's do a redwood oar. It's a very dark redwood oar. Once you have an oar in your hand, you can then start moving. And it steers with the left and right keys, and you can look around freely, including backward. Oh, we can actually go backwards. Interesting. And it looks like whichever direction you're facing is sort of forward. Now, as I understand, I think there are actually two seats on this raft. I think we can get in either the back seat or the front seat. I don't, unfortunately, have a friend with me to try out this feature. Well, we get in the back, apparently, every time. Yeah. Reversing doesn't work intuitively. You would think that pressing right while reversing would actually send you right, but it does not. Now, you'll notice that the oar in our hand isn't actually moving. However, if you are in a third-person mode, you can see your character is actually rowing. If you go into the settings and you want to enable the immersive first-person mode, you can get the option for that. However, oh, they fixed it. Your hair isn't in your eyes. So there we go. Immersive first-person mode, we can now see ourselves rowing. Is that cool or what? And getting out of our raft is as simple as pressing whatever key is bound to your sneak. Typically, Shift. And there we go. Now, similar to the rowboat mod that I have been using very briefly or showcased briefly on the Vintage Story Guide series, you cannot actually stand on your raft. You will just drop right through it. It is not yet a solid object. I hope that gets changed, but we will see. Heading back over to our little starting platform here, the next thing I want to hit is doors, because we have some new doors. Now we have some ruined doors. These are only found in new dungeons. Jonas boiler door, interesting. However, you'll see that there are now a whole lot more doors. We have sleek door in every flavor of the rainbow. We have solid door in every flavor of the rainbow. And then we have a 3 tall door, also in every color. Now, the solid doors are the ones that you can build in your inventory. As I understand, you will no longer be able to actually build these what are called now sleek doors. They are only sold by furniture traders. But they otherwise can be placed, and they use the same model, but they all have their own textures now. And last but not least, we have the 3 tall doors, which are pretty darn cool in my book. You know, let's move you over to here. So now we have one of each kind of door. There is something new about these in particular. They actually swing open and close now, rather than just changing state instantly. And that is pretty cool. And these doors have their own sounds as well. These will make some very nice gates in the future. I am in love with these doors. I do wish we could keep crafting these in our inventory and not have to buy them from traders, because these are kind of I don't know. I missed the window. I really missed the window. I foresee myself spending a lot of gears buying these. Now, in keeping with the theme of wood, we have something new we can do with the humble log here. And that is, we can, in our inventory, if we take one of these logs, and we take an axe and a hammer, we can make a debarked log. That looks like it uses 1 durability from each of those tools, but these debarked logs can then be used to basically be interesting decoration. There's a debarked log with the original above it. Move you to the side as well. There we go. And each of the logs has their own different design. So this is the oak, then we have the acacia, and then we also have the most perfect wood here, of course, the larch. So these will be fun to experiment and play with, and to build more unique floors with. Having some of these sort of scattered around a parquet floor, or just sort of randomly scattered throughout any other kind of floor, can look really nice. But that isn't everything you can do with these new debarked logs, because if you take your log in your inventory with a saw, you can make a support beam. And these can be used to create beams that go to different locations. Notice how when I mouse over it, it says set beam. You can make an start point, end points, and cancel placement. What we're going to do is we're going to right click here, and now you can see it is going to be somewhat buggy because I clicked on this corner, but it will attempt to create a beam pointed at wherever I'm looking, and each block seems to have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snap points. So 5 by 5 snap points, that ain't bad. That is pretty cool. I need 3 beams. Okay, well, let's get 3 beams then, shall we? How's 16 do? Oh, yep, so there's a bit of a bug here. Let's go ahead and place you out. Placed it correctly this time. And if we wanted to do like an interesting kind of beam like that, we could. And maybe make a bit of an X. And hey, we can jump over it. We can walk right through it. Okay. So it needs some collision, I guess. But that is pretty cool. Now, how do we break these down? We don't. We don't. Okay. So it looks like they are otherwise not interactable, which is kind of a problem. Whoop. And they kind of seem a little unstable sometimes. So once that is resolved, I think these will be very fun to build with. We'll be able to do a lot of cool decorations in basically whatever shape we want. That is pretty awesome. I figured it out. So wherever you first place the beam, that has some collision to it. Or it did a minute ago. There we go. So if I jump in against this, I can't go any further. And there's a teeny tiny box right there that is the collision box, so I wonder... Okay. Let's switch game modes again. Can I get the beams back? I can. Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, that does need some work, but when that is done, that'll be really cool. Continuing on with the theme of things made of wood, we have a new block called the bookshelf. Now, in this current preview version of the game, I don't think they are craftable. I've been looking at them, but they don't seem to be. I believe the intent is for them to be player craftable. And, importantly, you can actually find or maybe even create books and place them in the bookshelves, and they will go exactly where you tell them to, which is really, really cool. Whoops. If you point in the right place, they'll go where you want them to. And they will line up however you'd like. I think that is really cool. And this will be great for making libraries or just filling little nooks with some books for a relaxing place to hang out. Oh, cool. The books also explode when you break the bookshelves. And the bookshelves even come in multiple different configurations. We have tall double bookshelves, we have the wide bookshelves, a single full bookshelf, and then a 4 bookshelf sort of cubbyhole style. And supposedly they'll all be buildable, but we will see how Tyron implements those. Now, something that I have been dying to learn about is a new non-wooden block called the Rift Ward. Wow, okay. So the Rift Ward is a buildable block. Let's see if we can actually make it yet. Nope, it is not yet in the game as far as a craftable block. And maybe we'll have to find it. I certainly hope not. Now, it looks like we have to recharge it with temporal gears. That is a concern. Oh. Wow, okay. Spoiler alert. But if we put a temporal gear in there... Oh boy. Oh, good thing that isn't going to be annoying or anything. Oh wow. Charge for 14 days with 1 temporal gear? I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know about that. That sound is not something I really want to have. If this thing is here to block temporal storms or to block rifts, that's going to get really annoying, especially if, as I understand, these only block in a 30 block radius. So that means that we come out to, so we're at negative 17, so out to 47. So rifts are blocked out to here in a circle, or maybe a cube. I mean, it's not tiny, but for any reasonably sized base, to put this somewhere that you're not going to hear it all the time, it's going to be dicey. Not going to lie. Goodbye. That's irritating. Be quiet. The next feature to explore is a new, here we go, a new method of signage, and that is metal plaques. Now there is a second type of signage coming out here that I don't believe has been implemented yet because I looked it up and we still only have the regular sign and signpost. However, in a post over on the Discord server, Tyron did indicate that he is implementing signs of all wood types, and just like the sign, you can put a plaque down and you can then write on it. And we can also change the font like so, or the size at least. I think, as I recall, Tyron mentioned something about different fonts too. I don't know if that means that we're going to have one font for signs and one font for plaques, or if we'll be able to actually choose other fonts. There's a bit of Z fighting on here right now, look at that. So hopefully that gets cleared up before the full release. But just like everything else, you can also, you know, type on it with different kinds of pigments and you'll get that color. Very blue. Odd that there's no Z fighting on the blue on Milbutacos, but there is on green on gold. Blark. So there we go. That is going to be very cool. Okay, that is about it for the functional and craftable blocks we're going to cover in this video. There is one main functional item that I want to look at that can be crafted, and that is a glider. Now, the glider is a special item. From what I understand, and this is spoiler alert, there is going to be an in-game story mission or storyline to follow that will get you a glider schematic. And you can put the schematic with some materials in your crafting grid and you will get the glider. It has 2 storage slots. Interesting. Now the schematic itself will not be consumed when you make the glider, although if you are in 1.18 pre-1, it will. That is a bug. But let's see how we actually use this thing. Do we... I guess we put it in one of these slots here, don't we? Oh, we do. How do we look? Okay. Now we're in creative now. Let's go into game mode 1. And, oh wow. Okay, so when you are in the air and you press space, it will unfurl these wings. Of course, we're not really going very fast, so what if we clunk? Interesting. Let's go to the top of one of these mountains and fly down. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh, you know what? Let's go into game mode 1 and see if we die. Here goes nothing. Oh wow, look at that. A little derpy. Oh, and we took no damage. Interesting. We didn't glide very far, but we got here pretty quick. So that's an interesting means of traversing the landscape. This could also maybe save us from falls down deep pits. Let's find out. Nope, it does not. And we are now... I'm not sure what to make of this, but I love it. Anyway, I can see this as being a very cool way of getting around, or especially down from places. I do wonder if Tyron has any plans to include a new method of propulsion for these things, a la firework rockets in that other block game, but that remains to be seen. And down we go. Yeah, you don't really catch much lift. It doesn't really glide quite yet, so that could use some fine-tuning. I feel like we should be able to glide a little while longer, or at least a little slower, because we hit the ground in like 4 seconds, so yeah, but we'll see how that pans out. It also appears that although this is a backpack type object, we cannot yet place it on the ground, so we will see if that is a feature coming later. On the ground you go. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed this first look at some of the functional blocks and some of the decorative blocks that you can now use, or will be able to use, in Vintage Story version 1.18. I have a couple more videos planned where we will look at some of the decorative changes, more the visual changes to existing blocks, as well as some of the feature changes in terms of mechanics and gameplay that will be coming. So, look forward to those, and I will see all of you in the next video. As always, my name has been Kurazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.